Welcome, theater addicts. My name is Madison Steele. I'm here with my good friend Kate Delorme. We're going to be reviewing the ADHD project by Squirrel Suit Productions at the False Creek Gym as a part of the 2018 Vancouver Fringe Festival.
My first Fringe show of the year.
Me too! Fringe! I'm really excited to go see this show because I believe, and I have believed for a while, that I have undiagnosed ADHD. And this is something that I kind of found out recently, maybe about a year ago, and I've been kind of doing a bunch of research and trying to understand what it is. I'm really curious about how they're gonna discuss like being neuroatypical or just being neurodiverse and what they have to say about it and how my experience is going to kind of compare to that. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Me too.
Kate's excited too. What are you expecting?
I don't know what I'm expecting actually. I haven't read much about it. I like to go into theater like more or less blind. We think a lot of people have undiagnosed ADHD, and there's definitely like aspects of ADHD that like maybe a lot of people have that a lot of things people struggle with are maybe because of that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And the other thing that kind of came up in our research about ADHD is that it's harder to diagnose in women, and it happens to be a woman. Carolyn Ramy wrote and is starring in the show. She has ADHD, as it appears. I mean, I don't know if gender has anything to do with ADHD, but I guess
maybe we'll learn that.
Maybe we'll learn that. And I guess part of the idea is that like symptoms kind of appear more subtly in women, supposedly. Like probably what it is that depending on how you've been socially conditioned, it might appear differently. I'm super interested in this subject. Kate is super interested in this subject. We're really excited to see how it's addressed. Yeah. Hey. So we just went and saw the ADHD project by Carolyn Ramy. We are officially correcting our pronunciation. Actually, it's mostly just me. Kate really didn't do anything. Her name is pronounced Carolyn Ramy. So if we messed that up in the first video, we are here to apologize for that. So the show was really interesting. There was definitely stuff that, coming from the perspective of, you know, feeling like I do have undiagnosed ADHD, I had a different perspective on it than maybe someone who doesn't know about ADHD or definitely doesn't have it. So that's kind of where I'm going to be coming from in this review, just to preface it, because it is a bit of a biased perspective.
I really liked it a lot. Yeah, her performance was just really earnest, and I don't have ADHD, but I like related to a lot of her like childhood scenarios, and like she read out her report card at one point, and it was just like I was like, yeah, that's what my report card said too.
Yeah, so the way that the show was structured was very anecdotal. So she basically just told a variety of stories about her life and her childhood and what it was like to be diagnosed with ADHD when she was young and how that affected the rest of her life. And so that was, you know, she's an amazing storyteller. She was super earnest. That's a really good way to put it. And she has an incredible imagination. And the thing that I like the most about her performance is that she was so connected with the audience. Anytime anything happened, I think someone dropped a water bottle at some point or something like that, and she was just right there with us, laughing and acknowledging it, and there was
it didn't distract her.
It didn't distract her. Nice. I mean, overall, I think she was an amazing performer. There were some technical difficulties in the show, which I think they also handled really well. There was meant to be a projector for the show, and it wasn't working.
I think it just wasn't there.
Or it just wasn't there.
I think somebody just didn't deliver their projector, but
yeah, there were a couple little things that were happening, but overall, you know, they handled it really well. That we all were able to laugh about it, and yeah, I think they just did a really good job. I would have liked to have seen more information about what ADHD is in the grander scheme of things. You know, so not just I have ADHD and this is my experience and how I felt, but you know, this is how ADHD is seen in the world, and this is how it affects other people, and maybe some anecdotes about, you know, because it sounds like she knows a lot of people who are not technically neurotypical or who are neuroatypical, and I think it would have just been nice to go a little bit deeper and to say, you know, these are, you know, maybe more statistics or more just information about the history of ADHD and, you know, how it maybe has changed. What do you think?
It wasn't like a PSA on ADHD. It was
Right.
like it was her experience. It was her artistic interpretation of her life story.
Right.
And it does have like the ADHD title.
Yeah.
So that is gonna make it more seem like, what is it called? The ADHD Project?
The ADHD Project.
Yeah. So
Yes.
So maybe that's, you're coming in with this idea that it's going to be about ADHD as a thing, and
Right.
I guess I just saw it as her story.
Yeah, and it definitely was her story. It sometimes felt like, you know, this is the experience of having ADHD. This is the only experience of having ADHD. And I know that that wasn't how it was meant to come across, but I think just because it was only one telling of one story, that maybe was kind of an impression that I was left with. They are now performing the ADHD Project in schools, which is really exciting and cool, and it means that kids are going to have more language to be able to talk about neurodiversity and brains that are not typical. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the show has weight to it, and it is important. I think that there were definitely some things that could have been done better, like acknowledgement of privilege and acknowledgement of a variety of different experiences, and like what is disability and how does that exist in the grander scheme of things. But I think it's also super important that the show exists and is happening and is being performed for kids and for people who don't have ADHD or who have never met someone with ADHD. This show could teach them a lot about what that experience is like, and a lot about how someone's brain might just be different, you know, and that doesn't make them any less human.
It was extremely
Yeah.
entertaining. Like, we were laughing, and like there was a
Yeah.
lot of just like super relatable moments.
Yes.
And, like we're women of the same age as her.
True. Yeah, it was like fun 90s references
Yeah.
and like little things that you get when you're of an age demographic.
Yeah, and yeah, I just found her as a performer very relatable and very empathetic, and yeah, right there with the audience. And
Yes.
that was really, and like I liked the content. I liked the arc of it and the presentation.
Yep.
I liked I liked the use of visuals. I wasn't totally sure that the visuals were necessary. The pacing of the performance was just a little more steppy because of the integration of the visuals. Like if it was
Right.
maybe, if it was maybe not her operating it, if it was just that something like came up at a certain point. I don't know if that was also because of her technical difficulties, but if it was not
Yeah.
her operating, if the visuals just came up and then they went away and the lights came up and she continued her story, that would have been
Right.
smoother.
We don't know if that was how the performance just was, or if that was because of the technical difficulties.
Just also I want to say about her is that I just wanted to be her friend, like, so bad. I also cried in that show.
She did cry.
I did
Yeah.
cry, like multiple times.
My name is Madison Steele,
My name is Kate Delorme.
and we just reviewed the ADHD Project by Squirrel Suit Productions at the False Creek Gym as a part of the 2018 Vancouver Fringe Festival. We feel #blessed. We would love to hear your take on the show. If you have seen the ADHD Project, please comment on this video and let us know what you thought. Maybe you thought that I was totally out to lunch. We also would love it if you subscribe to our Theater Addicts YouTube channel and check out the website for more upcoming reviews on the 2018 Vancouver Fringe. Woo!
First night of Fringe! Also, do the little thumbs up thing.
Yeah, like our videos, send us messages, tell us your thoughts. We want to hear it all.